Hi guys, welcome back. And we've now finished plant and animal tissue. That was module 5. We're going on to the next module. This is module 6, and it's all about biotechnology and indigenous knowledge. Basically, how we take the animals and the plant information and use it to our benefit using science and what we did in the past. Okay, so that is biotechnology. All right, so at the end of this particular lesson, we want to know, how do medical technologies, what happens? How do we do vaccines? Very big thing now with COVID, and examples of the different products. Okay, what is medical biotechnology? Okay, it is a special technique that manipulates biological cells. So we take the biological cell, and as we learned in chemistry of life, it's all made up of atoms. Now, that particular combination of atoms, which gives you your compound, we manipulate that compound almost like GMO, and we manipulate it to be a better compound than it is at the moment for our benefit. All right. And we use tissues. We know what they have, more than one cell. Processes, certain processes like making of insulin or things like that, and we can help the organism make new useful products that they can use in their bodies. Okay, and the most important, and why do we do this? To make us survive, to make us live the best life we can while we are on this planet. All right, so let's look at the different medical biotechnology methods and what we make, the products. We know from chemistry you take reactants and you make a product. So now, what are the reactants? What do we use? What are the ingredients we use that are biological of nature? So they could be organic with C's and H's and O, and they form a product that we normally would not get formed in nature by itself, but it's not harmful because we've actually bypassed nature, and then this product helps the whole of nature work better. Okay, products would be things like blood transfusions. Now, blood transfusions we know is a big deal. We'll get to that now. Vaccinations and immunity on everybody's lips, as every advert says. Antibiotics. Make sure that all the bacteria in your body can hopefully be subsided. Insulin, those with diabetes, we can help them so that they can form the insulin so that you can get your glucose changing into glycogen, as we discussed when we were doing our carbohydrates. Skin grafts, burns, injuries, so that you can fix your skin. In stem cell research, we know that stem cells are baby animal cells, like your meristematic cells or baby plant cells. So your baby animal cells or your initial animal cells, which are your stem cells, should also be able to become anything. They differentiate into anything. But is it allowed or isn't it allowed? Very ethical. We'll discuss that. Okay, let's start with blood transfusions. Now, blood transfusions is where you take blood matter, which is the platelets and the white blood cells and the plasma. We take that, and of course the red blood cells, and that can be used for somebody who has lost a lot of blood. It could be through hemorrhaging, which means serious blood loss, injuries, bleeding out. It could be burns. Burns don't lose blood as much, that loses a lot of plasma, which is the transparent liquid that carries everything with you. So if you burn, you get all sorts of ugly, it sort of seeps. That's your tissue liquid or tissue fluid seeping out, and your lymphatic system can't drain it because it's all been cut off. And that needs to be replaced, because without that, your body can't survive. So it is the transfer of blood products from the correct donor to an unidentified recipient. 3 marks, all right? It is transfer of blood products from a correct donor. Correct. Show you now. Recipient. Could be 3 marks. Okay. What do we mean? This is more where we do your genetics and blood transfusions. We do that in grade 12. But if you know it now, you have no problem in grade 12. And I'm sure by now you know that O is the universal donor. O can give blood to anybody. And then A is the type of blood. What actually it is, it's on your red blood cell. There are proteins. We've discussed proteins. And they are made up of carbons and H's and O's and all sorts of things. And depending on the type of protein you have on your red blood cell, that's called an antigen. Your body will recognize it or it won't recognize it. Now, you have an A-type antigen on red blood cells, which are called the A blood. You have a B-type antigen. You have AB, which is basically an A and a B. They look the same, so you have that. And then on your O blood cell, you have no antigens. So if you had to add the two together and you added A to O, you would have a mixture that has an antigen in. An example would be if you had a transparent liquid, say distilled water, and you had a beaker of purple water and a beaker of blue water and a beaker of red water. And let's say A is red, B is blue, and AB would be purple if you mix the two together. That's no problem. But if you had to add A or B or AB to O, it would change the color slightly. And that is a problem. It causes agglutination. The red blood cells all clump together, and then they can't get through the veins, and we have a problem. Your recipient, O, donor can, however, give it to everybody. So if you took transparent and you poured it in the red and to the blue and to the purple, it will just dilute it slightly, but you will still have the normal plasma would be able to carry along. Because when you take your blood, you have your plasma and your red blood cells. So if you mix it all, you'll have a few red blood cells, but the plasma and your platelets and everything could be mixed into A, B, and O. So O can give to everybody. When we have a problem with a recipient, O can only discuss it, but AB could be the universal recipient or the universal recipient. Okay, so what we do with blood, how does that work with medical? It means we are taking what normally would not happen. Normally humans wouldn't be pouring blood from one to the other to keep them alive. But we have developed a technique where we can take products, which are biological products, and give them to another organism in order to keep them alive. So that is manipulating the biological product to the benefit of another person. Okay, the next one will be vaccines, and that we know is where you take the organism that's causing the problem, be it a bacteria or be it you've got your bacteria or your viruses, and we then take a vaccine. A vaccine is where you take the proteins. Remember, your body, when a baddie comes in, your body recognizes the antigens on that baddie as something it doesn't know. So when it recognizes the antigens, it forms a product that your white blood cells literally eat it up or grabs it. Now we need that antigen to be in your body but not causing harm. It mustn't give off toxins or something. So what a vaccine effectively, you've got different types of vaccines, but the vaccine is basically a dead protein. Some of them aren't dead because if you kill their proteins, they denature. Remember what we learned about proteins, like a boiled egg? It's not the same thing. But if you can get that protein so that it doesn't make a friend, it doesn't replicate itself, your body can recognize it as a baddie, your body can kill it, and in its memory, no, next time round, it's not going to survive. If a real one comes in. That's basically what vaccines do. So we stimulate your body to produce an antibody. Now your antibody attacks the antigen on the foreigner. So the foreign body would be your bacteria or your virus or even a pollen or anything like that. So it stimulates your body to build an immunity against it without having had you get sick in the first place. Okay, so that's good. The next one is an antibiotic, which we know. Antibiotic does the same thing. You end up coming into your body and it helps you kill. If you take an antibiotic, it's like a hired soldier, like a mission, like a mercenary. It comes in and it attacks on behalf of the white blood cells, your bacteria, because it recognizes the antigen on the bacteria. And it is one biological system. So you take a fungus, the Aspergillus, which forms penicillin. That fungus actually releases toxins which kills a bacteria. And it kills bacteria, but it's not very specific. So that's why if you take an antibiotic and it kills your nice bacteria inside you as well. And you've got to take a probiotic so that you can replace them. But an antibiotic doesn't attack your blood cells or your body cells. So the antibiotic, the reason it makes you ill is because it's attacking your gut intestine, not your own body cells. Our ribosomes are a different shape. Okay, so what we are doing is we are taking a fungi, and we are taking those spores of the fungi and we're manipulating them into a certain product, taking the H's and the C's and things that we then put into a body of an animal, whatever it is, to attack another organism, the bacteria. So that is attacks a second organism. So that is manipulating something to help, once again, the human survive, and it would be all organisms. Like you can give it to plants. You have some sort of antivirals that you can spray on plants. We give them to cows and things like that. Okay, the next one is insulin. Now, insulin's a big deal. We know about diabetes, and I have mentioned this before when we were doing your carbohydrates, where you have glucose, too much glucose in the body. It moves, and it has to move it to the muscles and to the liver, and to form and to store it in glycogen. Insulin literally puts all those little glucose together and it forms your insulin, but now your glycogen. But now, if you don't have insulin, your liver, your pancreas doesn't make it. They've been so clever. They take Escherichia coli, which is a bacteria, and inside the bacteria, it has a little thing called a plasmid. It has this little DNA string, which is your normal, runs all the information, your recipe book. And your plasmid is the instructions of how to do everyday stuff. And they put, and I'm going to use, say, an orange pen for now. And they put inside this DNA string, or this plasmid of your Escherichia coli, they add a piece of DNA they got from a person that can make insulin. So that bit is added into the Escherichia coli, and it's called recombinant. And it is now a recombinant cell. This is matric work, but it makes much more sense if you understand it. Then, once they've added it to it, they have a special way of adding. This little poor old little E. coli is set forth in a petri dish to go and make a friend. And in the process of making a friend, it takes the information along. And while it's working, part of all the stuff it does, normal household cleaning, it makes insulin. And it releases the insulin. And then the humans or your lab people, they are humans, would collect the insulin and purify the insulin that this one is making as a byproduct. But it's now been sort of manipulated and blackmailed into making us insulin. And that insulin is then used and given to people who do not have, especially normally the type A or the type 1 diabetes people. So we have taken a bacteria, turned its DNA on its head, made it literally make insulin as a byproduct. Then normally insulin was made from, they used cows and they used horses, but now they are using literally bacteria. It's much cheaper. You stick it in a petri dish. And then that insulin is purified, so you don't need any of the bits and pieces of E. coli, because E. coli can cause a lot of diarrhea. We all know that it's a baddie. But it's normally in your body for certain reasons, as long as it's not too much of it. That is manipulating one particular organism to the benefit of another one. Then the last bit we have here are your skin grafts, is where you literally take a piece of skin and they grow it also on a petri dish. And then once it's grown a bit, or tissue, they can take a bit of it and they can put it on to this, literally the damage that's been done, that's burnt. Or they can literally take it off the top of the thigh. It's usually the thigh or the inner thigh where you don't see it that often. They can take some skin. It shouldn't reject the skin because it recognizes itself. and it can be grown. They do the same when they grow heart tissue or for heart valves. And that is a skin graft where they use the body's own cells to regrow damaged or skin. So it is literally, once again, manipulating nature, because your body will not be able to fix this by itself. You need something from outside. So it's manipulating nature by using biological products, manipulating them to our own benefit. Okay, so let's look at the last. This is the big deal. As I mentioned, stem cell research, it's very ethical. It's from your bone marrow. If you take, for example, if you've got leukemia or certain cancers, they will take bone marrow and they will research it, because you can get stem cells that you can replace the bone marrow so that it can grow. But where do we get these stem cells? They can either be from umbilical cords or sometimes from fetuses. And there comes the issue. Using it from an umbilical cord is really not a problem, because normally after birth, the baby's umbilical cord would be thrown away. So those are most of the stem cells that they use. But now, recently, there have been many questions about sometimes fetuses, aborted fetuses, which would have many stem cells in them, and that's a problem. And then your umbilical cord, what they mean preserved for future, what people also have done, if you have the capability, is they take the umbilical cord and the placenta of the baby when it's born, and they literally freeze it. So should this child have issues in the future, they will be able to use their own stem cells to stop it. But it's a very expensive process. And then neurological problems, they use stem cells. That's neurological problems would be something like you've been paralyzed or you've got Parkinson's or something like that. That if you can replace the cell that's not working, we will be discussing nerves, I think, in the next section. And then you will understand how, with a problem, if you can, nerves that aren't replaced, the working of the nerve isn't right. And if we can get a cell that works, that will help. So let's look at some of our biological terms. Biotechnology. Now, these biological terms are ones you will give the definition of, and please know the right terminology. Okay, it's the use, biotechnology is the use of biological organisms and processes to make new useful products. That could count 3. Blood transfusions. When blood is received from one person, replaces the blood to another person, we said that was 3. You can use this definition or the one that's in the previous slide. Immunity is if you have an immunity, you have a resistance to infection of that pathogens would come in, and it is usually by artificial means. So you can have 2 to 3 marks in this one. If we look at a vaccine, and everybody knows and has heard of it, it is a preparation made from a weakened or dead form of the disease. Please, people, weakened or dead. I mentioned that some are weakened, but some need to be dead because they are so active that if they slightly weakened, they can still replicate themselves and cause damage. But some of them, if you don't leave them slightly alive, they change their protein, because everything's proteins. We have like eggs, and when you've got boiled an egg, you cannot get any functionality out of it, causing microorganisms or toxins to give people to prevent them from getting that disease. Please, that's about 4 marks. Please make sure you understand the terminology. What I suggest you do is write literally the sentence down, learn it like a parrot, and then go through the terms so that you understand the words. Then afterwards, the parrot learning won't help, or it won't be necessary, but you understand it because they really, really do ask you these specific things. Because most people can learn things like a parrot, but you don't understand what you're saying. All right. Antibiotics, substances that kill or prevent the growth of bacteria. All right. So go through the different biological terms. Make sure you understand why we are doing medical biotechnology, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you very much. Bye.